By the end of the war, he was stationing up here at the lower fort. So a family that lived here at the time of the Revolution was the Epperson family. Their family probably owned this property all the way back to that 1728 that I told you about. The Eppersons lived here. Now, on the date of Johnson's raid, October 7th, 1780, the story is that husband and wife, Epperson, came from Albany on foot, got here just in time to see some of Grant's warriors kind of coming around the Fox Creek and toward their house. So they ran inside the house, grabbed whatever they could very quickly, and ran up to the fort, up that big hill to the fort. And the story is that they ran, there was a slave that they had that ran behind them who got captured. Now this slave, a lot of slaves would allow themselves to be captured by a Mohawk or warrior. The idea is that they are adopted into that nation, like many captives were. They would have a lot more freedom and privileges of those they were replacing as family members. So it was kind of one of those things where maybe they were captured, maybe they were willing. Some slaves, they were captured, they actually would get up. There's a story where they got up in the middle of the night, killed most of their captors, and came right back. It's a very complicated subject. There's nothing easy about this subject to talk about. However, this particular captive slave was taken, but Mr. and Mrs. Epperson got to the fort, and the story is that she got up into the tower, looked through the window, and was able to see her home go up in flames as it just started going up in flames. That's debatable whether or not it actually was put to the torch. However, natives did try to burn at least the mill next to it that was off on the side here and had a paddle wheel on the creek. Now, at the time, the creek probably flowed a little more regularly. So it was a mill. It was a valuable property. Now, after the war, Colonel Peter Broman bought it, 1785. That's when the lower fort, the stockade was taken down and went back to being a church, so we had nowhere to live now. So he's looking at this property. I don't know what happened to the Eppersons. They probably just moved on somewhere else, or they died by then. I don't know. But the point is, there's already a mill here, possibly a house that didn't burn. So that's a great property to have, right? Now, Broman was a slave owner. He had many slaves. Being a wealthy person generally meant he had a lot of slaves. So there are actually slave quarters that were in the back of this property. But this particular home, it says it's 1785. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, it's okay to talk about because the owners know this. It's not a big secret. I talked to the owners about what I'm going to tell you now because they told me.